Hey, what's going on? Super happy to have with me Danko Jones. It's really cool to finally chat with you because I've been following the band's career ever since you guys kind of first came on the scene. And it's nice to see not only the work ethic, but the fact that you guys have been so, I don't want to use the word prolific, but you guys have been really consistent with the output. So it's nice to finally chat face to face, especially around the 25th anniversary.
Cool. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
When you prepare for the live stream, which is going to be happening, to help kick this thing off, uh, how do you prepare for that? Are you able to? Are you guys? Do you still have to do some of that from a distance, or is that judging by your reaction? I imagine there's a good story behind that.
We're going to start rehearsals this coming week for it.
Right.
But leading up to it, I've been pretty much running through our songs, and I think everyone has every day.
Yeah.
So just running through them, and it's a matter of just getting back on the horse. Been playing these songs for some of them. We've been playing for years and years.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard, but yeah, it's a bit of a people don't realize that we're more cautious, I think, than most.
So this obviously is a great segue to the single "I Want Out." Tell me a bit about that song.
Well, I mean, I Want Out was written lyrically, was written out of the frustration of being home and never wanting to leave because of things beyond my control. So yeah, the lyrics were written in the summer of last year is when we were writing the record.
Okay.
From, I guess we started writing at the top of the pandemic, like about a month before the pandemic started, we were already writing. So we had about 4 or 5 ideas that eventually made it onto the album, but we wrote a good half, if not a few, maybe 60% of the album while apart from one another during lockdown.
Right.
And so "I Want Out" was one of those songs. So I think we were all very pleasantly surprised when our transferring of files back and forth yielded these songs. Yeah. Very skeptical about it. I think I can speak for the other two guys too. I think we were very wary as to whether this will work, because that's not how we write records. We write records in front of each other in a room,
Yeah.
So
I think it's forced a lot of people to look at, in the event of how do we adapt, and I think a lot of people have been forced to go online for a lot of things that they do, and they're realizing that there is a way to do this. So I think when there's a will, there's a way, and it's nice to hear that come together the way it did, because it sounds like you guys are all together when I listen to that. It doesn't sound like there's a separation. It sounds like it's a band together. So.
Well, I mean, eventually, the good thing that happened was when it came down to recording the album, the guidelines in Ontario were, I think it was 5 people, maybe 10 actually,
yeah.
In September, October.
Yeah, because it was fluctuating. I'm in Montreal, so it was like, yeah.
Yeah, but in the studio there was never more than 5. There was the 3 of us, and sometimes there wouldn't be all 3 of us. But in the top, when we were recording drums, there was usually the 3 of us: Eric, our producer, Eric Ratz, and his assistant, Chris Snow. So it was just the 5 of us. And then eventually, as the recording went on and on, there was less need for all 3 of us to be there. I had to be there from the top to the end because I do guitars and vocals. So I was there pretty much every day. And but eventually, when Rich finished his drums, he didn't really have to be there. He'd just drop by. So there's usually 4 of us, if not sometimes even just 2 or 3 of us. So we were able to do it together.
Where can I drive people to get tickets for this, to experience it? Because I know there's one happening in North America and there's one happening in Europe. So can you give me a bit of that info?
Yeah, so the first one's tomorrow is the North American one. That happens 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
And you can get it at eventbrite.ca, eventbrite.ca. Eventbrite is one word. Yep. And then the next night on Saturday, it'll be one for the European audience, 8 p.m. Central European Time. Both live streams you can see anywhere in the world, and you can, even if you live in, like in Vancouver, you can watch the European one instead if that's easier for you. They're both at eventbrite.ca. And yeah, it's going to be the first time we're on a stage in any capacity in over a year. The last time we played a show was at Huntington Beach in California in February of 2020. Little did we know that was the last time we were going to play for a long time.
So I imagine there's going to be a bit of pent up aggression that's going to come out.
Yeah, I have to assume so. You know, like I'm sure the moment we start rehearsing and with full volume in our space together, everything will come rushing back, and it'll be a fun go for sure.
Cool. Well, looking forward to it. And again, thank you for chatting today. And we'll definitely catch up with you again, man. All the most success.